Hey guys, Dom Rinaldi here from Dominating Your Investments. What are we going to talk about today with Palantir? There have been numerous announcements with new customers, partnerships. What we're going to talk about in this particular video is the partnership that was announced several weeks ago with Transfigura. And we're going to talk about who Transfigura is, but also why I believe this could be the next Skywise product. And when I say Skywise, that's the product that Airbus built on the Foundry platform. I believe they will do the same thing with Transfigura for supply chain and carbon emissions for the entire global market, or at least for those who are Western allies. And so we're going to cover that and really kind of lay the groundwork of what happened a year ago when they announced their supply chain for Foundry, and now we're seeing it come to fruition. This gives me a lot of confidence within Palantir and their patience and their diligence around their financials. Obviously, the stock has been clobbered. I think we were down to 782 today, but there's no debt. We're generating free cash flow, and we really want to see what is that company going to look like 10 years, 15 years, 20 years from now. And so they have strength on their balance sheet and definitely strengthened the technology that they've had. So we're going to see that here. So let's jump in. So I wanted to start with the press release that was launched on May 24th about the partnership with Transfigura. So Palantir and Transfigura announced a collaboration to deliver supply chain carbon emissions platform to market. Transfigura, one of the world's largest physical commodity trading companies, and Palantir Technologies today announced the development of a technology services platform for carbon emissions calculation, reporting, and collaboration across commodity supply chains. So this is going to impact multiple organizations globally and the market overall from a supply chain and carbon emissions standpoint. A consortium approach enables participants across global energy and commodities supply chains to model life cycle carbon intensities and allow industry participants to work together for enhanced visibility and reporting. The platform aims to increase transparency of emissions from the production, transformation, and transportation of commodities across the supply chain. This will enable participants to better understand life cycle emissions related to their indirect operations, to benchmark against other participants and identify opportunities for lower carbon pathways. So why does this matter? This is going to allow companies to prove out their carbon footprint and make sure that they really are adhering to those ESG policies and also having more effective and efficient supply chains, which also is impacting inflation. So this is important. That can really, this can really impact the world. 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. So we're going to learn here that they were already working together previously, and now this is actually becoming a full partnership and platform for the market. This project marks the first time Palantir will go to market with a partner on carbon emissions tracking. Leveraging Transfigura's expertise in global commodity supply chains, Palantir's Foundry operating system will be configured to provide consortium partners with an accurate calculation of carbon intensity across supply chains, beginning with crude oil and refined products, and concentrates and refined metals. The announcement builds on the work already done over the past year by Palantir and Transfigura, with the initial pilot already having built scenarios across 10 million carbon pathways using actualized commodity shipments by integrating Transfigura data and metrics supplemented by third-party data. So we look at the acquire, scale, and expand phase. So this started in the acquire, and maybe even now we're a little bit in the scale, but moving forward, given several months, possibly a year, we're going to be more in that expanse phase. And this is going to become a product for them to sell to for Transfigura to get more customers on this platform. Now, they said, our customers are increasingly asking us for visibility into the life cycle emissions of the commodities we move as they prepare for regulated Scope 3 emissions reporting, and more generally for net zero, said Jeremy Weir, Transfigura's executive chairman and CEO. The complexity involved in the commodity supply chains requires robust cooperation across the industry and a technological solution that can enable meaningful decisions and change. We're delighted to jointly deliver a solution to market with Palantir, whose technology can manage the complexity and data security required to provide additional services to our customers in the market. So let's break that down. So not only do they have the technology that is solving for this, but it's a very complex problem that they're solving for, and there has to be extreme amounts of data governance and security to even make this possible. So this is where Palantir shines. We saw this with Airbus and their Skywise product. Now we're seeing it here in supply chains and for carbon emissions. And there's several other use cases of Foundry that we're seeing in what we call critical infrastructure that really makes the world go round. Energy companies being another one. We know that BP is a customer of theirs. So now let's see what Alex Karp had to say. The collective action required to address many of our most pressing global challenges requires more than resolve or a shift in political priorities, said Alex Karp, co-founder and CEO of Palantir. It requires a shared understanding of the facts based on data. We have built software platforms that deliver that shared understanding by enabling institutions across entire industries and sectors to collaborate and model the world in which they operate. So you can see when you take that and really apply it to what you see on their website, and we're going to jump into their website here. We're going to focus specifically on supply chain and keep this video shorter than most. And then we're going to jump into other videos as I provide other episodes on energy and IoT and edge. And what we're seeing is what we saw on that website when it first got revamped in those 40 different industries. We're now seeing products come from Foundry specific to the exact sentence that Alex Karp said, entire industries and sectors to collaborate and model the world that they operate in. So these are very specific problems that need to be solved for these industries, and they're taking the ontology of Foundry and the capabilities of Apollo and Gotham to help solve these critical problems for these organizations and large organizations. And I think we probably didn't give Alex and team enough credit of they're focusing on these big contracts and these big customers, because with the acquire, scale, and expand phase and how the business model works, the reoccurring revenue and expanse and usage of Foundry and these other platforms will continue to generate larger contracts. So we want to make sure that, or they want to make sure that they're getting the biggest customers that are going to help generate that free cash flow, that profitability, and be able to then trickle down and make a more affordable modularized project. And they're already modularizing Foundry for specific verticals, but even making it further for more of the SMB target later down the road. So as kind of frustrating as it is that they don't have that already, this was really encouraging. And also seeing Alex's most recent interview at the World Economic Forum around what he thought about people viewing the stock and how he doesn't really look at it, but he understands the pain it's going through for shareholders. But what we all should be paying attention to is, where will this company be 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 years out? And are they laying the foundation for that expanse and that success and that exponential growth and profit? And they are. And we heard way back when they bought that $50 million of gold, that they saw a possible black swan event and they had no debt left. Now we're kind of living one of those black swan events with where our economy is, or the stock market, and just inflation and everything else that's going on. Also the war over there in Ukraine and Russia. And now let's hear from one of the leaders at Trafigura about the partnership with Palantir.
At Trafigura, our customers rely on us every day to distill complex supply chains into simple, transparent solutions. Traditionally, this has focused on physical risks, such as delivery, timing, and specification. However, As the world prepares for net zero, our customers are increasingly asking for our help in managing environmental and regulatory risks, namely as it relates to understanding of carbon emissions related to their supply chains. These new challenges require innovative solutions, and is why we're pleased to announce our collaboration with Palantir and launching a global carbon data consortium platform for supply chain emissions, visibility, and reporting.
Well, the video wasn't as short as I thought I was going to make it, but I wanted to make sure to highlight the value that this new platform is going to offer for multiple industries, helping them get their carbon footprint down and their emissions, and being able to track the supply chain and seeing ROI right away off of this platform that they're creating with Transfigura. And we're already seeing that they've already went through the pilot phase. And so now we're going to kind of see them go into the scale phase and that second piece for this product. So it's going to be very similar, I think, when we see it all said and done, to the success that something like Skywise had. So we'll jump into some of the other videos and demos in some of our next episodes. I really want to start promoting more on the channel around the value and differentiation that Palantir is providing from a technology standpoint, because I know there's not a lot of marketing going out there. I know they're doing better. They're really trying to get all these videos out there. I'm hoping that my channel can help educate retail investors as well as technologists on the value that this platform really creates and the reduced time to value customers can get. And I think we need more of that going on. You know, CodeStrap does a phenomenal job from the developer perspective. I can kind of give you from the marketing and sales perspective, being in technology sales for over 20 years. So look forward to doing more videos like this. And thanks for watching.